Here we have a pre-owned 2016 Kia Optima SX Turbo. This one comes in the beautiful pearl white, and then we have black leather interior. Now the powertrain on this one consists of a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, made it to a 6-speed automatic transmission, and that gives us 245 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque. Coming around to the front end here, we do get LED daytime running lights, and a pretty nice look for this Optima SX Turbo. Not seeing a lot of black plastic that's sticking out, so they did a good job with that. And then coming around the wheels here, these are gonna be 18s. Also look pretty nice. Now we get passive keyless entry on the front 2 doors. Then we have our memory seat functions here. Power windows with 1-touch automatic up and down for the driver and front passenger. Power door lock controls here. And then we have a rear window lock there. Power mirror controls, and we can pick a side and then cancel it out by hitting in the middle. And then we have our power folding mirrors. And then we can either have that on an auto function, have them open all the time, or close them manually. But pretty good storage here in the door panel. Bottle holder there. Brightness for the gauge cluster. We can pop the gas cap, open the trunk, traction control, we can toggle that. We'll pop the hood there. Then we have a foot pedal for the emergency brake. And we can adjust manually our steering wheel, tilt and telescope. And then here's our driver's seat, power with power lumbar support. But I have that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" in my driving position. So I'm gonna go ahead and check out the rear leg room. So pretty impressed by the room back here. Have about an inch or two between my kneecaps and the back of the seat, and then I have several inches of headroom. Again, very impressive. And then you even get the rear blinds as well, which I love having that, especially if you have a baby or something, you want to keep the sun out of their eyes. That's an awesome feature to have. But storage pockets behind both seats, rear AC vents. There's a 12-volt, then a USB-A charge port down there. And then our middle seat folds down, cup holders there. And then grab handle. We could probably hang 1 or 2 small hangers there if you need to put your dress shirts up so they don't get wrinkled. But let's go ahead and make our way towards the back. Gas cap there. And then I believe we do get LED taillights, which is awesome. And then this needs a screw there. But tons of storage behind the back seat. Pretty impressed. I don't know what that is, but underneath the trunk mat, you do have a spare tire with the jack and everything. If you're ever in a situation like that, we're gonna pull that, show you how the seat folds down. Then another close-up of the back, dual exhaust. But making our way to the rear passenger side, when you pull that lever in the trunk, you can, and this has been acting up all day. So that's one issue I'm having with this car, is this does not like to work for whatever reason. And then you can run longer objects from the back to the front there. And then here we have a 6-way manual front passenger seat, which I'm glad they made it 6-way instead of 4-way, even though it is manual. But tons of room in the glove compartment here. Owner's manual's there. But making our way underneath the hood, I think the key fob is dead, so it keeps making that sound, which is very annoying. But here we have the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. And making our way back to the driver's seat, we do have a leather wrap steering wheel here that we can heat, and I'll show you where that button is momentarily. Feels good though, and doesn't seem to be a lot of wear on the steering wheel. Now over here to the radio, we have several different options that we can use. We do get navigation here, and you can hit that type in your address and it'll pull up the map. And then if you just want to go to the map, there, that is there. And then from here, you can hit that, and that's how you can get to your shortcut. So if you want to go ahead and find a restaurant, gas stations, you can set up your home, office, all of that. Pretty easy to use. And then we do get AM, FM, XM radio. And on top of that, we get Bluetooth and Android Auto. And I don't know why in the world there's only Android Auto on here, but I looked it up and that's all it comes with. No Apple CarPlay here. Hazards are there. Backup cameras there. I do like that the guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel. And then down here we have a volume knob. We can mute there. And then over here we have our tune knob for the radio stations. And then quick shortcuts for all the stuff that you would need. So you go to setup and all of your settings are here. You go to sound. You can go ahead and set the position of the speakers, the tone. And then if you scroll down here to connectivity, this is how you can set up your Android Auto if you want to use that. And system info's here as well. But down below here, we do get dual zone automatic climate controls. And there's actually a setting up here if you go to climate, where it will show you everything on the screen, because you only have the knobs here. Nothing tells you the temperature below. But when you put your auto mode on, it shows you that. When you sync, it shows you that. And you can unsync by clicking there and then turn the auto mode off. You just have to adjust the fan speed. And then mode here, that's how you go through where you want the circulation to come from. AC toggles there. So I like the controls. But down here, two 12 volts on either side, and an aux input and a USB port there. And that's also how you can run your Android Auto when it's hooked up. And for the 6-speed, pull this button, reverse neutral drive. Come over here, you can manually shift using the shifter, but you also get paddle shifters behind the steering wheel as well. And then drive modes, you can toggle those. You get 3, you have your Eco, your Sport, and then normal mode. And the normal mode just doesn't show anything on that left side of the gauge cluster there. So that's how you know you're in that mode. Heated steering wheel toggle again, and then 3-stage heated seats for the driver, front, and passenger. Center console cubby space, pretty decent size for the segment. You do have a USB-A charge port there, and then the removable tray that goes right there. And there's a view of the back seat from up here. The sunglasses holders here. To the left side of the steering wheel, we can use this mode button to go through our audio sources, voice recognition button there, volume controls, and then you can click there for mute, and then you can use this to go through your track list or radio station presets, Bluetooth buttons, and then to the right side, you have your cruise controls. You can set, and then you can cancel there, and then all of this on this side is for the gauge cluster, the middle part there. And you can go through your sub menus, or you can use this as a back button as well. And then that's how you can go through all that. So it's pretty easy to use. You can go through certain settings and adjust that if you need to. And then my favorite view is always the range and average fuel economy. So that's where I'll leave it. Blinkers are here. High beams are there. That's how you turn them off, and you can flash as well. And then you have your auto lights there. And then to the right side, you have your windshield wiper controls. So you have one time, intermittent, low, high. And then intermittent, you can adjust the sensitivity there, or the speed there, excuse me, and then pull up for front wiper fluid. Push button starts here. And I think this one needs a battery, but the key fob is right here. But next, it's time to go ahead and take this 2016 Kia Optima SX Turbo out on the road for a quick test drive. So starting the test drive out of this Optima SX Turbo, quite peppy. Even though I only have it in normal mode, I was just giving it a little bit of throttle coming out of that corner, and acceleration was quite impressive. So putting the vehicle in the sport mode now, and then I'm also gonna put it in the manual mode. And she's definitely quick, I can already tell. But seeing as this one has a few miles on her, I'm gonna go ahead and put my foot into it getting on the interstate here. But I love how snappy the shifts are. Very impressed there. They got up to speed so quickly. I'm gonna go ahead and put the cruise on, and then let's put it into eco. And I feel like the fuel economy meter lags just a little bit, but wouldn't be surprised if we're getting, yeah, it looks like we're getting right at 30 miles per gallon. Maybe a little bit more, doing 75 down the interstate here. And the ride is pretty good. Pretty impressed by that. And not a lot of wind noise either. It's not a windy day necessarily, but still not hearing too much. I can hear it, but it's nothing that the sound system won't drown out. And then the sound system for this, you can get the, I think it was Infinity still for 16. You can get that premium sound system in this, but the standard one, it's all right. It gets the job done. Of course, the premium sound system is gonna sound better. But one thing I do like about this car is it's pretty easy to drive. It's hard to find a sporty vehicle that doesn't necessarily need to be sporty. And this Optima SX Turbo certainly checks all the boxes for me. And this eco mode is mostly for interstate driving, but even driving around town, I'm impressed by how good it is in terms of coming out of a corner and accelerating normally without necessarily burning a ton of gas. A lot of eco modes, it's just hard to drive through the city because it's just limiting how much throttle you get. But with this turbo engine, it mates very well. Specifically with the 6-speed, you're not having to shift and then not getting enough power out. But in terms of competition, of course, there's the Accord, the Camry, the Malibu, and then I think the Fusion was still out as well. But to me, this is a pretty good option. This one just has, like I said, under 55,000 miles. Everything seems to be holding up nicely, except for the key fob battery, but I didn't notice any other issues. And this one in particular is pretty good shape, and the pearl white still looks fantastic. But all in all, again, for the money, you can't beat it. Even in today's market with used car prices being a little crazy, it's still good transportation and has a lot of life left in it. But with all that being said, this is going to bring me to the end of my review of this 2016 Kia Optima SX Turbo.